Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Every once in a while, we have to bring out the big dog.
Yeah.
Oh, God help us. It's time for Danny Unleashed. Sponsored by Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. Go to eastonroofing.com for more.
Yes, indeed. We're going to talk to Danny Clinkscale, but don't forget, you just heard Happy Hour at Twin Peaks. Now through the 26th, the Snow Bunny's costume party is in effect. You can come in, warm up inside Twin Peaks. The Snow Bunnies making their appearance at Twin Peaks. It's just for a few days, though, so make sure you get there now through the 26th. Enjoy the Snow Bunny's costume party. Danny's a big fan. It's Curtis's favorite week of the year.
Yep.
I'm not going to... You throw me in there, too. Big fan.
Can confirm.
I am a fan. Twin Peaks got you covered. $1 off the little girl beers. That's like the size that Jed drinks. And then that doesn't even... Let's put it on Danny.
That's right.
Put it on Danny. And the big manly beers, like I have, they're $1 off, too, now during the happy hour.
You can
take
drink 40 little ones and still get where you want to go.
You can. That you can. Great selection of tap handles plus great prices on the appetizers all through happy hour. It starts at 3. Take advantage of it, Kansas City, at either one of your 2 Twin Peaks locations. And, of course, grab yourself some food while you're there. The app's wonderful. Everything made from scratch. Literally everything on the menu made from scratch. If you're a low-carb guy, I recommend the pork rinds. They're really good.
Wow.
Huge fan.
Gourmet pork rinds?
That's right. Yes. Sauce has got some kick to it. I will tell you that.
It does.
It's got a little
good,
spice,
though.
but it's good.
It's the thing.
I like it. I just want you to be prepared.
Yeah.
If you're someone who likes no spice, just be ready. The sauce has got a little kick.
Fishandchipsbomb.com. I recommend those. Super good, very moist and flaky.
Bomb.com. I like that.
Bomb.com.
Nice.
He's going. Yeah, you like that?
Nice.
Danny Clinkscale is brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing. Joe Spiker and his great crew do a fantastic job, and they're happy to do any repairs you want. A lot of companies don't do repairs, you know. That's not something they want to do, but that's not a problem at Easton Roofing. Plus, if you're looking for employment, Easton Roofing, great place to work. You can find them online at eastonroofing.com, 401k. Healthcare, it is a great time, plus work year-round. So all kinds of positions that they're hiring for, go right now to eastonroofing.com. And, of course, happy to do all the work. They are growing and growing and growing. Another great Kansas City success story. We love our great Kansas City partners here. I'm not going to lie to you. If we got a national partner, that's fine, too. But Joe and his crew are a great Kansas City company that have done great, great work, and they're just growing, one of the fastest-growing companies in Kansas City because integrity, it matters with Easton Roofing, and Joe and his crew do a phenomenal job. So maybe you need some insulation blown in. They do that. A couple of signs, cold upstairs, ice dams in your gutters, lots of icicles hanging from your gutters. It's a sign that you could need more insulation, and they do that work. So don't hesitate to call 913-257-5426 or eastonroofing.com. And if a great KC company is what you want to work for, check them out online, eastonroofing.com. Danny, how are you, buddy?
Doing just great. Busy times, a lot going on, a lot of podcast work to do, and a veritable glut of podcasts on the schedule. So,
well, that's good. You are a gluttonous person, so that should work out fine for you.
Well, in some areas,
yeah. All right.
So, including this Friday's Kansas City Profiles presented by Easton Roofing. Very exciting. I guess you have to be maybe a person of a certain age or like vintage things, but I am interviewing Hal Linden on Thursday.
Oh, the actor?
Wow.
Yeah, from Barney
That's
Miller.
Fantastic.
Yes,
that's pretty cool.
I am very excited. My wife and I watch Barney Miller a lot these days, and he's at the New Theater Restaurant. I met him 4 years ago. He was playing golf during the day, and another time he came to Kansas City. And I don't really often, if you run into a celebrity or something, usually I just leave him alone.
Right.
But in this case, I'm like, when am I ever going to see Hal Linden again? And I'm a big fan, so very gracious man. He's about 90 years old now and still working, so pretty admirable. Late 80s. So I'm very excited about that. Very excited. So that'll be on the website on Friday. A great conversation with him and lots of cool stuff coming up.
DannyClinkscale.com, where you can find that great work, that great material. Of course, you can find Danny Unleashed right now.
Yes, I am. It's early in the day.
By the way,
Beer 30 comes an hour early.
Yeah, and I got a friend who just said, love your Twin Peaks commercial. Let's go right now, was what I was just
I think there was some,
I was just told
I think
by
there
a
was some
friend.
inspiration. I think some people may have be headed in that direction right now.
Might as well KU basketball at 6.
That's right.
You know?
Get your seat.
I got a lot of work to do after I get off work,
Sunfeller
but-
Showdown. Little extra intrigue, I guess, maybe put into it by K-State's performance the other day. I tend to think that West Virginia kind of just didn't show up for the game, seeing as they turned right around and woke up and beat Texas by 40 last night. But I'll give K-State some credit.
Yeah, thank you.
Give 'em
Thank
credit.
you. Listen, I'm going to crap on them when they suck and they lose, so I'm not going to poo-poo away when they win. That was a hell of a win by Bruce
Right.
Weber, and he does that. You know, that's kind of what he does.
I know, and now let's see. Often what he's done is that, they've been in this horrifying situation, and, they come up with a surprising performance, and then it parlays into a little bit of a run. Well, unfortunately, the schedule doesn't lay out particularly good for them, but who knows? Who knows? I mean, stranger things have happened in college basketball this year.
They do tend to kind of dig a hole and then get themselves going. I don't think they're going to get going to the tune of the NCAA tournament,
No,
but I
it's
do
gonna
think
be
that they're
hard.
going to beat some people. And KU
Well,
better
they
not
already
be looking
did.
past them. I know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about because, we got a buddy down in Austin who's a K-State guy, and he's like, if they're not going to beat TCU, who the hell are they going to beat? And then with each loss, he's like, see? I'm like, don't worry, they'll do it. That's what Bruce Weber does.
Right.
I don't know where it is. I'm not going to call my shot. Oh, they're going to take down West Virginia. I was not saying that. But I knew somewhere along the way he's going to beat some people.
Right.
And whether it's Texas Tech or KU or Baylor or whatever, Bruce Weber will stink some people.
Yeah, they've defended pretty well most of the year. It's just that they've had trouble scoring. And
Have you ever? Isn't that the damnedest thing? Like the guy was like Mr. Offense.
right,
Was kind of his MO, and
I
now
think
he's.
he does.
I think
run
it speaks to his ability as a
I
coach.
think it does. He does run good offense, but if you don't have players who can hit shots, I mean, it doesn't really matter. You can get them shots; they got to put them in. And his offense always had good movement and everything. But really, you're right. The last few years, his calling card seems to have been more defense with K-State. And then when they score, they're a dangerous team. So we'll see. But what mid-major would like to hire Shaka Smart after this season? I think it's becoming the question, isn't it?
Well, I think that's the incompetence of Texas. What mid-major? I'm sorry, mid-major. I see what major. Yeah. No, I would agree. And listen, Dayton's having a great. Now, of course, they've got a lottery pick player. But what's his name? That was at Alabama.
And they have some other good players too.
Followed up Shaka VCU. What's his name? Who's the Dayton coach? Was it Alabama?
Well,
Anthony Grant.
Anthony
Thank you.
Grant, right.
Anthony Grant is having a great run with Dayton right now, but again, I think he's got a good team. I'm not sure. Has he been there 2 years? 3 years? How long has
This
he
is
been
his second year.
Second
I
year.
think
second year.
I would
Third.
I think
Third year, okay.
I think he's found his wheelhouse.
I do too.
Grant, I think he's
And
always been
and he
known as a
found
recruiter.
lottery pick.
And he's always been known as a recruiter. And if you're at a mid-major and he's got some good contacts and guys who either want to play more, and, rather than ride the bench at a bigger program, or, as you say, he finds a guy who's a lottery pick, I think you can really make Dayton's a great job.
I think so too.
They
I think
they
Creighton's
sell
a
the
great
place
job.
out when they win, and it's a great basketball town. I think it's a good job.
It's like
Why go back to the meat grinder of a big conference and get chewed up and spit out?
Yeah,
again?
I listen to me. Listen to me. Listen. I don't know where I got.
I'm listening to
me.
you.
Yeah, I know. I'm stupid.
Say something.
Right now, everybody, listen.
Hey guys, he's going to say something.
It's radio. It's
pretty tired.
theoretically, you're all.
By the way,
listening.
this made me think of a
Think
thing
I'll
I
go
still
home
hear.
now.
Even good broadcasters do. Okay, you're watching a game.
Unlike us, the
And it-
mediocre parade
No,
of
I'm
the
just
world.
that's
saying.
pretty
This
schmucks.
ain't
Good
game
guys.
callers.
Guys that know what they're doing.
I'm not.
pros.
I'm not calling games right now. I'd love to, but calling a game and there's like 6 minutes to go. Okay. Timeout, Texas, and it's 55-55. Don't go anywhere, folks. What? No, we decided that in this
We
tie
made it
ball
this far,
game, we
but
made
now
it this
we're
far.
out.
We're just out. And thanks for saying it though, because now I think I'll stay for the exciting conclusion of this game. I've invested 2 hours of my life in.
I was going to watch Matlock, but
stay
now I'm
right
gonna stay
here.
and watch this one.
Listen, I will tell you, like,
I just yell at the radio or television when they say that.
we all have our I'm sure you don't watch this sport, but it's the worst example of what you're talking about. Formula One racing.
Right. I watch it sometimes.
All right, so it's like there's two teams, three. There's a team that's
right.
always third, team that's always second. Ferrari's always second.
Nobody
Mercedes is always
passes
first.
the whole way.
They don't pass. They get out there. They have forced tire stops to make it so that you've at least got to come in and pit because they're half electric cars that don't even need fuel when they come in and everything. So the pit stops are like 2.8 seconds. So you can't even. It's not even like NASCAR where you got is it 12.4 versus 11.6? No, there's like a tenth of a second between all the pit stops and everything, and so they'll get going. And it comes down to a tire strategy and whether or not there's going to be a yellow or something, right? And they'll be like, "Oh, he's making up 0.3 of a second per lap." There's 20 laps to go, and he's 14 seconds back. And they're like, "Oh, no! Lewis Hamilton is going to have to lose his mind and crash."
Right.
That's the only way. We're not getting drama.
Yeah, the way
don't go anywhere.
The way I follow Formula One the most is I listen to the channel that has soccer on a lot, and they play the British ESPN radio basically a lot of times when they're not having
Hamilton's
a game
a
on.
big deal.
And so and Hamilton's a big. It really is
world's
interesting to
highest paid
get a feel for in England they still love their Formula One because they really love regular boxing still in England. I mean, it's still a big deal.
Europe does.
Yeah.
Europe does.
Yeah. So.
Well, my point was, I had a point, and we got totally sidetracked there.
We did. It was another broadcasting point, I believe.
No, you turned it into that. You son of a. What the hell was it? We were talking.
When I always promote
Teams.
my appearance here, I always say,
Yeah.
Anthony Grant.
Anthony Grant. Oh, yeah, I know what it was. Wichita State, Creighton, Dayton. Those are better jobs than Alabama.
People care.
I think maybe even Tennessee. That's such a huge barn that they got to try to fill seat-wise that you get 21,000. It's like there are 4,000 empties here. Yeah, because you overbuilt the building, you idiots.
Right. Thompson Bowling Arena.
What is I don't even know what it is.
That's what it
Whatever.
is. Yeah.
It's just like their stupid football stadium, bigger than it needs to be.
At least they used to fill it. At least it was filled at one time. It's not. No, and I don't need to. This isn't. Well, I'm going there anyway, so what do I care? I mean, Missouri expanded their stadium before they were filling the one that they had. I mean, that didn't make much sense to me. It was just because, we're in the SEC now. We got to expand our stadium. Like, you weren't selling out the other one, you idiots. Wait till you get real demand.
If we build more seats, more people will show up.
Yeah, I mean, not good. Not a good idea.
They did. I know what people say. Well, the south end zone or north end zone, whichever one it was, they were working on.
It's the south.
Yeah, it's like they cut down seats and went to more premium seats. I know, but you added seats first.
I mean, they're up to 67th GER now.
You remember when they first joined, and there's that guy who just loves like stadium architecture, and he put out like how Mizzou could expand to 100,000.
I didn't see
and
that.
It was like getting all this run. He had all these photos, all these cool artwork he had drawn, everything. It's like, dude, they're not going to 100K. Like it's not. The 100K stadiums are coming down, right? Like
exactly.
You don't want to be at 100K. All right. Well,
so those are good jobs. We'll see with K-State and KU tonight.
Particularly if you got the Koch family,
but the other part
paying you like you're coaching at Texas.
The other part is that right now, I mean, I think Kansas is a little tough to analyze. They really are having trouble scoring every game.
Oh, I agree.
But they win, and their defense is good.
They can defend, and they're big. I don't know that they shouldn't just go big and pound the rock. He seems to be kind of caught in between the two. I know he starts the two bigs and then immediately goes small, and I get it, but they're a small that still can't shoot.
Right. I don't know if 4 around 1, if you're not a good shooting team, is a better prescription than doing something that other people don't do.
Because McCormick has shown flashes. Like if you invest in McCormick now, could you be a really good high-low, too big double post.
And the thing is,
but then again, maybe Azubuike just operates better when he's got all the space and doesn't have to be restricted.
I think that's part of the thought. But but he doesn't need much space. He does all his damage 2 feet from the basket. You can still have somebody else, 8 feet off to the side. I don't think he's clogging.
I know this sounds weird, but do they do a good enough job getting him the ball?
Oh, I think Bill Self has referenced the fact that they don't necessarily do that.
Because
I don't think that he's referenced on blithely, and I think Dotson in his quotes himself has said he's not that comfortable lobbing. He's not an accomplished lobber, and I think there's sort of an art to that.
By the way, can we pump the brakes on Dotson to the league?
I'm with you there.
I mean, like he's a fine player. Don't get me wrong. Every time I bring up one of the KU,
he's
players,
a blur. He's a blur. So he's got that going for him, but he's got a long way to go as far as his total game.
They're all blurs.
Yeah, but
he's at that level.
He's really fast.
I
with the
know
ball.
he's fast, but he's still going to have to shoot. He was
Agreed.
shooting 31% a game or two ago. I looked at see what he's shooting. See what he's shooting from three, and see what Azubuike's shooting overall.
Oh, he's shooting about 80.
Well, that's it was 80. It was 80. It was like 82 not too long ago. That was my point about him. Like everyone's like, well, 33% from three is just as good as 50% from two. Yeah, but he's 80 from two.
And 31 isn't 33.
So
Doak's shooting 77.6% right now.
Okay, so 75. He's 3 out of 4.
He's slumping.
So he's gonna what's that put? What do you got to shoot then at from three? Another 25%, another 40.
Dotson's at 31% from three.
Yeah, what is that's why? Okay, that's where he was. What
50% would be 75, right?
What's 75% from two is the same as what from three?
50, isn't it?
Thinking.
Yeah, because it's 1/3. 33 is 50.
Yeah.
So
right.
Yeah, it's 50. 50 from three.
Yeah,
that's pretty high.
So that's why I'm saying this is like the analytics. Pound the rock.
Yeah, he
into
generally
him.
is going 6 for 8 or 7 for 8.
Yeah, he's not getting enough shots.
I would agree with that.
I mean, he's not getting enough shots. Now he doesn't have a whole big arsenal.
No, he did. What would you
so,
say?
I mean,
Jet?
that's
80% of his baskets are dunks.
Yeah,
that might be low.
I
think
that's
fair.
even probably conservative.
I think that's fair.
By the way, today I was watching regarding dunks. I'm watching ESPN Top 10. Okay, from last night.
And by the way, so let me save you the email. I'm aware that he's still struggling with the free throws, so like getting to the line, but he's still putting fouls on people.
Right. If you dunk it, and then miss, you still scored 2.
Yeah.
But so 7 of the 10 plays were dunks. Okay. I'm sorry. I guess I'm spoiled now, but if somebody is just by themselves, I'm out.
What do you mean?
I mean, if they're not, going.
Are you talking about the best plays?
Yeah, the best plays of the night. If somebody is not interfered with in some way and they just go up and dunk, I'm not impressed anymore. I don't want to see it. It's got to be over someone, reversing, I don't know, throw it through your legs. If it's just an alley-oop and some guy comes down with force because he can jump up in the air, I'm like, okay, yeah, he dunked it. That's you can't do better than that with another play? I guess you're feeding the masses. Is everybody still cool with just watching uncontested dunks and going, ooh,
wow,
ooh, look at that?
Thank you very much.
I mean, maybe people disagree. I don't know. Go ahead, disagree. If they throw a lob up to a guy and he grabs it with one hand and throws it down and there's nobody around him, am I impressed? No, I'm not. I can't do it, but so what? I mean, many, many people can every night.
I have no argument.
And the last time you tried to dunk,
you blew out your knee.
Yeah.
No, I was trying to dunk.
Yeah, you're just trying to drive. That's what's even more pathetic.
I once could dunk a volleyball.
I'm not. No. Calling the bull
on the little tykes.
Absolutely calling the bull.
I could do that
on an 8-foot rim, maybe.
No.
We will take a break. Come back. Danny Klinkskill. Danny Unleashed.
The dunker.
Brought to you by the
I'll tell you about
was it the Dinka Dunker or the Duncan Dutchman or something?
The Clinkin Dunker.
Yeah.
He'll tell you about his 9.7 meters he ran when he was in fourth grade later.
Talk about that soon, too. Brought to you by Easton Roofing.
Me and Bob
Integrity
Hayes,
matters. Find them online at eastonroofing.com. We'll come back talk Chiefs football next.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
We're here with Joe Spiker, the president of Easton Roofing. And Joe, you worked for other companies in the construction industry. What inspired you to start your own company in Easton Roofing?
Well, Danny, when you are working for somebody else, you oftentimes don't get to see the project through from beginning to end, and you don't get the final control over the customer experience. And I wanted to build a place where people can come and get work done on their house and not have to worry about being treated the wrong way and get a good customer service experience start to finish.
The company slogan is Where Integrity Matters. Why is that so particularly important to you?
Well, for us, what that means is treating each other with respect at work, treating our clients with respect, and making the right choice, especially when no one's looking. So when you're presented all the time as a contractor with choices that have to be made, are you going to make more money on this if you cut a corner? And we just wanted to make a place and a slogan that said to our people and to whoever is our customer, we're not going to do that. We're going to make the right choice regardless of profit.
Easton Roofing, where integrity matters.
From 1 to 19, what is the only number that has never been worn by a Super Bowl starting quarterback?
I don't think 2 has. I'm going to start with 2.
Nope, Matt Ryan.
Oh, wow.
So played in the Super Bowl.
Favre,
the Super Bowl
is
starting
4,
quarterback.
McNabb is 5.
Who's been 1?
Has there been a 3?
Cam Newton.
No, Cam Newton.
Has there been a 3? 15's been there. Kilmer.
Russell Wilson twice.
11's
17's
been
Doug
there.
Williams. I thought of 17.
Russell Wilson's 3. Okay.
And Darryl Monica.
6. What about a 6?
6.
I want to try 6.
It is 6.
Okay. Is that the only one?
No one's only a number from 1 to 19. The most common number's 12. There have been 30, including 3 instances when they both were 12. 7 has been worn 14 times, and 16 has been worn 10 times. Patrick Mahomes will be the 6th player to wear the number 15 in the
Joe
Super Bowl.
Namath was the one who made 12 cool.
He was the first one to wear it in the Super Bowl, for sure.
Okay, well, that must have been it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think, because he
It's
was the man.
It's a good number. 1-2, the symmetry of 1-2 right there. Right. It's a good number. The worst number on earth, sorry, Mitchell Schwartz, 71 is awful. Sorry, Derek Nottie, followed by 91. That's terrible.
Why don't you like 71 and 91?
I don't really like 1 after any number other than 21. 11's okay. I'm not a fan of 11 either. I don't know why. Just the 1, it just looks funny. It makes it not fit. I don't mind 10 and 12. Those are fine.
1 second. I see where you're going. The aesthetics of it are not.
I don't like
standing.
14. I wish Mahomes would go back to 5. I like 5 better than 15.
I like 5 better than
19
15.
and 18 are ass.
Agreed.
Those are just awful numbers.
Don't like 17 either.
Not a fan.
I remember back in the day when John Havlicek wore 17, I'd be like, he looks stupid out there with that 17.
Yeah. I hate any NBA over 5. Basketball is both numbers should be 5 or less. That's the symmetry of it. So the referee can call the fouls.
Oh,
that's what it comes from.
2-5. That used to be a rule.
That is a rule all the way through college.
Yeah.
Right.
But in the pros, they let them wear whatever, and I think it's stupid.
Last quarterback to wear 15 in a Super Bowl before?
Jeff Hostetler.
Wow, that's a long time.
Vince Ferragamo, Earl Morrall, and Bart Starr. The others.
No.
Well, Bart Starr and the Humpties.
There was an 8-year span in which 12 quarterbacks wore the number 12 in a Super Bowl. That was a bit of a dominant number in the 70s.
I think we love this stuff more than other people.
I think
Probably.
we do.
I know I do.
It is the program on
I know
Sports
I-
Radio 810 WHB. Curtis Siebolt talking some jazz was what we were giving away. Great Cajun food from Jazz
That's a good
in
question.
Louisiana
I like that
Kitchen.
one.
It is a great question. I love the question.
Of course, we
just didn't need to analyze it for 10 minutes.
More number trivia in our next end of the hour question.
No, we'll be doing helmets next time.
Got a fist pump there out of Jed.
By the way, a classic helmet matchup here in the Super Bowl.
Pretty good.
I mean, the Niners, that is a great...
You just said it jokingly, and then you got serious about it.
I know. No, I'm serious. I like
I
this
know
stuff.
you're. That's my point. You just joked. Yeah, we'll do helmet talk later. Then you go, by the way, classic helmet matchup. Let's break it down.
All right, let's leave it. Let's talk real football.
It's a couple of pretty good uniforms.
Absolutely.
That are going to go at it. All right. Yeah, let's do. What do you think? You think the defense sucks? Is that what you just told me?
No, I think the defense is getting. And hey, let's celebrate everything right now. The Chiefs are in the damn Super Bowl.
That's right.
So the special teams, glorious.
Three-quarter empty glass.
They've been outstanding. They've been out. But I'm just saying, the other day, okay, that game was all about Patrick Mahomes rescuing a situation. The defense goes out there, and they got bullied for a while.
I disagree.
Now, Derrick Henry wasn't piling up a big percentage, but the play-action passes, they went touchdown, field goal, touchdown, and they were on their way to another one when they got called for holding away from the.
I think they got strategied for a couple series with wide open receivers, and then they got stupid.
Is that like an excuse?
Yes. But it's not. You said bullied.
And
like
then
they came out Cro-Magnon and football.
All right, maybe bullied was the wrong. Dominated.
Yeah, but
how's
listen,
that?
They had one 13-yard rush that they gave up that Daniel Sorensen then wrecked him. And Derrick Henry felt it when he walked back to the huddle. Sorensen came up, perfect tackle, took him out, and he went down hard.
Fine, all I know is they gave up 17 points in 3 drives.
But no, that's not all you said. You said they got bullied.
Okay, it was the wrong word.
Okay.
I dropped the bullied.
Okay, because I think there's a difference. Because bullied is what they have been. We've talked about the physicality of the team.
They were very physical.
And so, yes, they gave up 17 points.
I put out a tweet during the game. I said the Chiefs maybe not doing much on defense right now, but at the end of the runs, they're dealing out some punishment.
That's right. And that's the point. Is that I don't think Derrick Henry wanted to run anymore. And
he didn't run anymore.
I don't think he wanted to, and I think he felt it. And if we come to find out that he had a partially separated shoulder, or he had this, or he's just beat to hell, which he absolutely has been, which is why I said all along he's not going to rush for 180 yards for 2 more games. You don't do it for 5 games. No one's done it for 3. You know what that means? He's sure crap not going to do it for 4.
Well, I don't think he was on his way to doing it in this game either. But the game was turned by the offense.
Let me finish my point. I disagree with that. The game was turned by the Chiefs. Because defensively, they came out and wanted to rough the Chiefs up and wanted to bully them. And what happened in that game was they ran it, and they kept running it to their credit, but they weren't getting the first downs. Take off the 13, and he's averaging just over 3 yards a carry. And then what did it mean? To stay on the field and get there, they had to play every card they had in the first half to get to where it was. You know, everybody's got some crap that they've seen on tape. They had some good Humphreys plays. They had a good under-over route combination going down towards away from the tunnel, where they clearly had seen some things about the Chiefs' coverage, and they got him in an either-or situation, and he took the right one. But once you've put that all on tape, those are now the Chiefs have a chance to react to them and say, okay, now we know what they're doing. Let's go ahead and change this. Let's do this. And I think it's unfair to say that they just, because the offense went out and scored points, which helps every defense. I said that before we started this segment. Yes, every team playing from in front, it gets easier to play defense. There's no doubt. Yes, the offensive success helps the Chiefs' defense. There's no doubt about it. But I think part of this is we have to evolve as analysts in this town and as fans, more so, let's say fans, right? We have to evolve. We have spent 50 years trying to figure out the perfect game because that's what it was going to take because we didn't have the quarterback who erases a lot of the mistakes.
Yes,
and so
my point.
The critical eye that we have is so overwhelming because if you're not perfect, then Steve Bono doesn't beat Jim Harbaugh. If you're not perfect, Elvis Gerbach can't beat John Elway. And so I disagree to have any kind of venom or frustration or
I don't have venom or frustration. I just said they're being oversold. That game was described as some kind of look at the defense. They really showed up and showed out.
They showed up and showed out for a team that has a quarterback. That's what it looks like.
Well, I don't think they did. I disagree. That's why I said in the break, I think we have a good – they came out. They gave up 17 points in 20 minutes.
So
and
what?
Then,
the Titans were what?
And then the Chiefs had the ball the whole time.
So when the Titans run all over the Ravens were just unlucky?
No.
Because they couldn't do that.
Well, they didn't do anything on offense. The Chiefs.
So we're saying is less of the defense because the Chiefs' offense scored.
No, the Chiefs' offense had the ball the entire third quarter, and the Titans didn't even have the chance to do anything then. Then by the time they did have a chance, they couldn't play football the way they want to.
Who's the championship team that routinely held the ball for 20 minutes in a game and went on to win? Name it. It's what Tom Brady does. That's the formula. And we don't think less of Bill Belichick and their defenses, but that's what they do. That's my whole point. We're evaluating this team like Steve Bono's still at quarterback.
I'm not. What I'm telling you is that the defense is still average. Average.
As long as the Patriots' defenses in the Super Bowl were average as well.
As
long as those were as long as every championship team that had an offense in the top 5, if all of their defenses are average, fine, I won't battle this. But if you're going to tell me that the Pats rolled in there with some kick-ass defenses, or the Steelers, when they were rolling up numbers on offense, that their defenses are just average.
No, they weren't. They were better than this defense. And this defense is way better. I'm not disagreeing with that. This defense is good enough to win a championship, but that game the other day was Patrick Mahomes' game. And if he wasn't brilliant, they very well could have lost. I mean, otherworldly. That was a Patrick Mahomes game, and so if he was
otherworldly,
they put the defense in a position where they had to make about 5 plays. Now they made them. To their credit, the best thing they did all day was on the series where the Titans got 1st and 5, and they were still ahead in the game. And they couldn't even make a first down.
I know.
That was
they
good.
did it time and time again.
Not time and time again.
On the times that they had 1st and 5, which were several different times, again, and penalties may kill them against the 49ers, and bad special teams may kill them against the 49ers. This is not a game that's just in the bag. They're going to have to come and they're going to have to play better. If the point is they got to play better than what they have in their first 2 games, I agree. The 49ers are better. If that's the point, I'm on board. But I am not on board with acting like this defense got lucky. I'm not. And they had numerous 1st and 5s where, they didn't get them off. Yes, they did. They had, listen, I'm not going to have Curtis go through it. They had more than 1 1st and 5.
At least 2.
And they didn't just give it up on the next play. They got to 3rd and 1s on a regular basis. And that's my point. That's what you're not giving credit for when they have to keep going into the bag of tricks. Okay, now we're going to play this one. Now we're going to show them this formation for the first time. We're going to show them this route combination for the first time. We've got to play that. It wasn't there in the second half. It wasn't new anymore. The Chiefs had seen it. They were ready to defend it. I think you're trivializing playing the whole 60 minutes.
No, I'm not, because what I'm not trivializing is the fact that the Chiefs had the ball the entire third quarter. The Titans, the defense didn't even have to do anything. They made one. They had a good series. They had a couple of good series in the game,
and the Titans,
and that's all they really need.
And the Titans had the ball the whole second quarter and managed only 7 points. That's a credit to the defense. Listen, you're playing good football. If they're giving you everything they got.
Would you consider 17 points and a half good football? That's 34 for a game. That's going to lose a lot of games,
I would consider
even for the Chiefs.
I would consider it 1/2 of football.
Right? And then your offense did the heavy lifting in the second half. And by the time you really had to make plays, the Titans were playing football they're not comfortable with. So it's good complementary football. That's what I'm saying.
But no, you said they got bullied. It's not what you're saying. It's what I've pushed you into now in this argument.
I used the wrong word.
They're bullied, and your whole premise is like you're not sold on the defense, right?
I'm not sold on the No, I said it's being oversold. I didn't say I'm not.
So then what is it?
It's good enough to win. It's good enough to win. I think there's an average defense, and that very well could be good enough to win a championship.
So it's an average defense.
Yeah, I think they're an average defense.
Over 16 games, 7th in points allowed, top 10 in pass defense, and playing better all the time.
I think that their offense has put them in a position that their biggest liability, which is still stopping the run on a regular basis, has been taken away. The responsibility has been taken away.
What would they have had to do? Well, and which I'll come back and say.
Come out and not get their team in a hole.
What every championship team does. Nobody sucks on one side of the ball and wins it.
No, I agreed, and they don't suck.
So
I'm not saying they suck.
But my point is that there's no defense that goes out. When was the last time we had a Super Bowl that was decided down at 13? Well, it was 2 years ago, 13-3, the Patriots.
It was a year ago.
And several, three of the Patriots championships have been. What are the ones the Giants won? They were both
20-10 and 17-14 or 21-17.
Yeah,
right. So I don't think the Chiefs in any way have to win a game like that. They don't. And if
they don't have to. Can they?
No.
Can they win 20-17?
No, I can't. I don't think they can. I don't, but I think
that's getting into a rough territory.
I think the odds of the Chiefs scoring 20 to me are pretty low. Now, if there's a team out there who can do it, it's probably the 49ers because
of the pass
because
rush.
I think the pass rush can be a weapon.
But I think their secondary
But right now they're playing so. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has such a good feel for everything that even if they do a good job, because they want to go. The Titans were doing that lollygag pass rush that was effective for the Patriots last year in the first half of the AFC Championship game as a unit, mushing their way toward Mahomes, keeping him in a cup. But it was too slow. It was too long. The problem for the 49ers is that they're going to want to get him. They're going to want to go get him. And maybe they will a couple times, but he'll kill them if they don't.
It seems like right now
that's why I think they're going to win. I think we're going to see
it.
some big plays on up. I think Patrick Mahomes might get sacked 3 or 4 times in this game.
Oh, I think he's going to get sacked at least 4 times in this game, and I think frankly, if he doesn't get sacked, then the game plan probably sucks, because I think what you're going to have to this is Hagler Hearns. That's what I think is going to happen. I think you're going to have to trade big shots.
I agree with that because they want to
You're not going to jab your way to this one. They're going to have to get a sack and a fumble off of Mahomes and create a super short field, or pick it up and take it down for a touchdown, or hit him as he's throwing and have it picked off and going the other way. And the Chiefs are going to have to beat them with a 70-something yard play somewhere. This to me is going to be a game that's decided by haymakers.
Well, I think the 49ers.
They're not going to pussyfoot around out there, 30-30.
Well, I think what the 49ers should desire to do is try and get the ball out of his hand. Now, he's fully capable of just killing you with quick throws, but this thing where you're going to try to confuse him back there, and he's got 5 to 7 seconds, which they tried last week. That's just dumb. Okay, for a little while it might work, but having Patrick Mahomes stand back there with the gun he's got and wait for 4 or 5 seconds and look around, and because somebody doesn't even have to be that open.
All right, so
so that would be stupid.
We'll and by the way, for anybody who doesn't know, Danny and I respect the crap out of each other. So I enjoy because
I said in the break I knew this was going to be good because I knew that I was sitting there driving in and listening to your.
And you're like, well, that's crap.
Yes, I did.
Can't wait to prove
your bouquets. I'm like, he's taken the whole first segment of the show, and he hasn't mentioned the offense yet. What is this?
Well,
is this a testimonial speech for the defense?
Well, the defense is better, jackass.
It is better. But, hey, come out and spend $50 for tonight's ceremonial dinner to honor the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Your Toastmaster, Soren Petro.
I'll wear that. That's fine. I'll wear that. I'm good
Guest
with that.
of honor, Steve Spagnuolo.
Featuring special guest appearance by Brett Beach.
Right, exactly.
General manager.
Yes,
I'm a fan of those guys. I'm a fan. I think they've done great work.
Everybody should be a fan of them. Well, first of all, anybody who isn't a fan of Steve Spagnuolo is really just looking to be a jackass.
Because
he's just, maybe they just don't like the accent or whatever, and I don't like the accent. I don't like the accent either.
He is great.
One of my funniest stories ever was.
Don't tell it now. We've got things to do.
I won't tell it now.
Listen, I'll say this. The one aspect of the Chiefs, I think that they can handle the run. Now, this is a different kind of – their backs in San Francisco are more explosive speed as opposed to run you over.
The scheme is more creative, I think.
Yes. I will give you that.
Oh, if they don't run the ball really well, they're doomed.
I disagree. I think the 49ers actually can, because the one part of the Chiefs defense – and I'll leave you with this, and then we'll break real quick. The one part of the Chiefs defense that I haven't seen them really handle, although no one's had a big day on them, I haven't seen them handle the back out of the backfield. And I think the 49ers have got guys that can do an Aaron Jones on them. 133 and 2 touchdowns catching the ball.
Right.
And that's, if I look at it, I'm like, okay, Ragland's on the field, we're throwing to the back.
Right, because
Ragland
Tyrann
and Hitchens are out there, here comes the back.
Because Tyrann Mathieu is going to have to worry about George Kittle. So
yes. Yeah. And so I think the backs out of the backfield catching the ball is where I would be looking to make some hay if I were the 49ers. And I'm not saying they can't. I'm not saying I think Daniel Sorensen playing a ton of linebacker is a big part of it. But that's the one thing that I just haven't seen yet, that I know that it's fixed. So
right,
I'll leave it at that. Danny Klinkskills here, being a big pain in the ass. That's why we love him. He does a great job. Easton Roofing. Very proud of Danny. getting my dander up. They love him too. Integrity matters at Easton Roofing. Find out for yourself. Go online to eastonroofing.com or call Joe and his team 913-257-5426. Whether it's insulation in your roof repairs, or a whole new roof, nobody in Kansas City does a better job than the folks at Easton Roofing. Just check out their incredible ratings on the Google and online. Easton Roofing, making me and Danny happy with the work they've done. They'll make you happy as well. Call 913-257-5426. Check them out online at eastonroofing.com.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
We're here with Joe Spiker of Easton Roofing. And Joe, oftentimes people will wait to replace their roof until there is a weather event. What should they know about that?
Well, Danny, the important thing to remember is if you're going to turn in a claim to your insurance company, you want to make sure that you actually have damage on your home. If you turn in a claim to your insurance company and they send an insurance adjuster out, it's going to be a claim whether they give you $1 or $10,000. So it's important to make sure that you actually have damage on your home before you turn that claim in. And all you have to do is give us a call. We'll come out, take a look, and make sure there's real damage, and we'll tell you if there's not. Maybe it's just a small repair and it's not worth a claim. So it's always smart to get somebody you trust to make sure there's damage before you turn in a claim.
Quality advice and guidance from Easton Roofing, where integrity matters.
You're listening to the program on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Danny Klingscale in for a little Danny Unleashed.
Betcha.
Brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing. Find them online at eastonroofing.com. Easton Roofing, integrity matters. So what are you calling for in this game, Danny? It sounds like you're picking the Chiefs, even though you're crapping all over the defense.
7-3 Chiefs.
Not coming to my rally. Not coming to my big, testimonial
dinner for the defense.
Yeah, you're not invited anyway.
I think the defense is absolutely good enough to win the championship, but I think we have to grade on a scale because Patrick Mahomes is teaching the class. I think that's what is going on. And if I will say this, it is concerning, and the Chiefs have just brushed it off like, a bird turd off your shoulder. But the two biggest games they've played this year, they just came out like flat as a pancake. I mean, I don't get it. That to me should be worrisome.
They weren't flat against the Texans. They were god awful.
Right, and they were nervous. Okay, whatever phrase you want to use for it. Nervous, not ready for prime time.
But they didn't get off to good starts. However you want to do it.
However you want to tab it, and that's just not good. Now, they've been good enough to just make it irrelevant by the end of the game, and maybe they can again. But what we have to also look at is the fact that they've played two teams they absolutely should kind of beat like that. You don't get to go to the Super Bowl too often playing the 6th seed or, playing the 5 and the 6. I mean, that's pretty good work. And in both of those games, they just allowed the other team to have hope. And, the Niners don't need any help. So I don't think they're going to come out and do that again, but I sure as hell didn't think they were going to do it last Sunday after they had the lesson of the previous game. So
do we look at that and say
I think the Titans
haven't played well yet? They haven't played I
agree with that.
4 full quarters. And that maybe they're due in the Niners.
They made a lot of sloppy mistakes the other day. That's how good they are. That's how good Patrick Mahomes is. So if they clean some of that stuff up, they're going to be almost impossible. And
that brings me back to my point of, we have to learn what it is to cover and to root for a team like this. They don't have to be perfect.
No, they don't. And they were jumping offside repeatedly. The fake punt. I mean, what in the world?
Yeah.
Give the Titans a little credit. They phonied up that guy was running on the field late. That clearly was on purpose,
right?
And caught him. But you can't let that happen. That's garbage. But they can do all that garbage and still win.
This podcast was made possible by our great sponsors like Easton Roofing, the presenting sponsor of Kansas City Profiles at the Danny Klingscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. We hope you enjoyed the latest Danny Klingscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Come back soon for something fresh and new.